It's that time, day 2. Come on, let's do this. Yep, day 2 cardio, and this Jeep is, bloody high. So back to the stepper. If you don't have a Stairmaster, do elliptical, treadmill, whatever it may be. If you've got a Stairmaster, try to go for that if possible. I think that is the better of the bunch. But whatever you got to do, or whatever you have available to you, take advantage of it. All right, I got my heart rate monitor on, ready to get into this fat burning zone. A lot of you think it's boring to stretch, which it can be if you allow it to be. Just think how it's going to help you over this 8 weeks. There's a lot more positives than there are negatives, if there are any. So I do suggest that you make this an integral part of your day, just like brushing your teeth. Tyler.
Chris.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
How you doing, buddy? You
Pretty good. Yes, I'm great. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Can you let us know exactly what we're going to be
doing
today?
So we're going to get you into a battery test today. We're going to get your body fat percentage taken in our hydrostatic tank.
Yeah.
We'll do that first. Then we're going to run you through a couple different cardiovascular tests. We'll do a VO2 max test, which is basically a graded exercise test. That's going to basically show you how fit you are cardiovascular-wise. We're also going to do a Wingate test. That's going to measure your peak power. Should be pretty fun after a nice leg day.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get you going, and we'll see how well you do.
Okay.
So the goal is to get the most accurate underwater weight for you that we can. So the way that we can do that is having you get rid of as much extra air that's in your lungs as possible. However it works for you, but you want to take a nice, good deep breath, and then you can either exhale most of it, and then you'll gently dip your head underwater, make sure everything goes under the whole back of your head. And then once you're underwater, exhale out any extra air that you feel like you have in there. And then once you feel like you've gotten everything out, you're going to wiggle your thumbs, like a nice clear wiggle. And then as soon as I see that thumb wiggle, I'll run the test. It takes about 2 seconds. Then I'll knock, and then you can come out.
Right, gotcha.
You're actually about dead on to what you had with the BIA yesterday.
Oh, that was a tough one.
For the most part, you're right around that 19 to 20%.
Wow, okay. It is confirmed then I'm in a bad way.
Well,
That's some work to do.
I've seen worse.
Oh, yeah. Thanks.
So a VO2 max test is basically just measuring cardiovascular fitness. It's measuring how much oxygen your muscles can consume and actually utilize. And what it does is we hook them up to a mask, and then we measure breath by breath gas exchange, depending on whether his heart rate gets high enough, whether he starts utilizing carbohydrates to almost 100% extent. For the most part, it's a max test, and we'll go as far as he can make it.
Okay, RP.
5.5. 8. Nice, Chris. 10.
All right, as long as you
Long as you can go. Push it out. Get as long as you can go here. Keep it up. Keep it up. As long as you can go. Push it out. There you go. All right, jump off. Nice work. Good job. All right, we're gonna just get you walking just at a nice, easy, slow pace, okay? Killed it. Nice job.
Oh, thank you.
There you go.
Good job. I had the body fat test before. Gave me the motivation.
What did we get you at?
43.7.
So what does that tell me? Is that bad?
I think it'll put you like kind of near average to even maybe a little bit above average. That was what your max heart rate got up to, was 179.
Nice work.
Okay, good.
So this is going to test anaerobic power. So basically what we're looking at is kind of the opposite of what we were just doing on the VO2 max test. We were looking at is cardiovascular fitness and endurance, whereas this is going to look at is anaerobic power. So we're going to see basically how much work or power output he can put out for 30 seconds. We're going to start counting down. We want you to ramp up for a little bit. It's going to be about 5 seconds of ramp up, and then we're going to start that 30 seconds. You're going to feel that resistance come at you, and then you're just going to go all out as hard as you can for 30 seconds.
Okay, keep going, keep going. Keep going as fast as you
Up a
can.
little bit. There you go. Keep spinning, keep spinning, keep spinning. Here we go, 1 second, here we go. Push, 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 push. There you go, push through. You got it, keep going. Push, 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 you got it. Keep going, Kris. Nice job, keep pushing, keep pushing. You got it, there you go, keep going, keep going. Push it out, push it out, push it out. Good, there you go, there you go. Good job, good job. Keep it up, keep it up. Push it, push, 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 push. Push, you got it, keep going, keep going, you're almost there, almost there. All right, okay, pedal nice and easy.
Fuck.
There you go, breathe, nice and easy. Nice job.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah, it's terrible.
That was only 30.
Only 30 seconds.
Man,
I know, it seems like it's so much
that was like a
fun.
minute to me.
So you can kind of see how, you know, you right at that first second obviously is going to be your peak, and then we just want you to kind of just climb that out as far as you can. You're going to decrease obviously, but you're looking at RPMs, dotted line, and then your wattage or your power output in the top, so which is in the excellent percentile. So your fatigue index is actually great, which is good.
So that was a good result then?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Awesome, great.
Really good,
I'm happy about that
Liked
one.
it, yeah.
I finished strong. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
job.
that
Been
was awesome.
awesome.
Yeah, it was
really,
cool.
really glad I got in with you guys.
Yeah.
Can I get a pizza now?
I'd hope so. I think you
Alright.
deserve it.
All right, we're here for day 2. We got chest and shoulders. The goal of doing chest and shoulders today is obviously to make sure that we highlight and encourage growth in every area of the chest, from the upper to the lower to the middle to the insertion to the attachment, and the same with the delts. This workout, just like a lot of the others, it shouldn't take too long. I'd say no longer than an hour. It isn't a huge amount of volume, not what I would call a huge amount anyway, so it shouldn't really take you that long. All right, let's get this done, chest and shoulders. Our first exercise, compound movements, heavy compound movements. What you'll notice is that I warmed up. I probably did about 5 or 6 warm-ups here just to make sure that my ball and socket joint of my shoulder felt okay. So what I did was chose a weight that I felt that I'd reach failure at 10 repetitions with, and that's what I did, 10 repetitions with 130 pounds. Then I gave myself 10 seconds rest. So remember, this is the DTP extreme philosophy. However many reps that you get out equals the amount of rest that you have earned. So I earned myself 10 seconds rest, which is about the amount of time that it took for me to pick up the 90-pound dumbbells, and then I performed another 10 repetitions. And then I went lighter again, which was way too light, I felt, to begin with. It was the 55 pounds. So I held it there for 2 seconds at the bottom, just to make sure that I had fully incorporated my muscle fibers and not the connective tissue of my tendons and ligaments. Sometimes you go down too fast and then straight back up. Your tendons and ligaments will overpower your muscles, your muscle fibers. So done 3 sets there now. What we're going to do is cable flies, and then we're going to superset that with a flat dumbbell press. But I'll explain all about that once we've finished that superset. incline cable flies superset with a floor press is done. We did around 12 repetitions on the incline flies. What you'll notice is every rep range was conducted differently. For the first set, I just did a normal conventional repetition. On the second set, I made sure that I held at the bottom for a good 1 to 2 seconds, making sure that, again, that I was contracting the muscle at the insertion point. For the last set, I made sure that I held the contraction at the top to make sure that I was getting that contraction not only in the origin, but in the insertion through both of those sets. Then when I'd finished each set on it, I immediately came over to the floor and conducted dumbbell press. Again, I made sure that I held it at the bottom. I completely lost contraction at the bottom. I made sure that I rested my triceps on the floor so then they relaxed, and then I'd fire out the whole from that midpoint. So I did about 10 or 12 repetitions there as well. Rested for about 45 seconds and then hit it again, hit it again, hit it again. 3 sets are done. For my next trick, we're going to go do decline flies, and then we're going to superset that with a conventional push-up. That wasn't easy. Chest is done, completed. For the first set, I made sure that I paused at the bottom of the fly, held it there for about 2 seconds, made sure that I had full incorporation and contraction of the muscle fibers before going up and contracting and repeating that process again. Reached failure at around 10-12 repetitions, then supersetted that with a push-up, pausing at the bottom just before I hit the floor, pause, and then explode back up. Then for the following set, I contracted at the top of the fly, made sure that I had good contraction right at the top, right in the sternum there, and then I supersetted that with a push-up, and again, instead of holding at the bottom, this time I was holding at the top for full contraction. So now we're done with chest, we're gonna move on to delts. Alright, first exercise or first superset for shoulders was standing military press. I used a Smith machine. If you don't have a Smith machine available to you, use a barbell. Make sure that your torso is tight. Make sure that your back is flat. I went in front of my head for 1 rep, and then I alternated by going behind my neck on that press. 1 to the front, 1 to the back, until I got to about 12 repetitions. Once I'd done my 12 repetitions there, I supersetted that with the lying upright row. I'd put my torso through enough work there, so I wanted to lie down here to make sure that I really isolated and forced myself not to use any momentum. So I went with a wide grip on the bar as I lay down here, because I wanted to target a little bit more of my rear delts as opposed to any trap involvement. Again, I did about 10-12 repetitions here. To absolute failure. Failure point is your target. However, try to do that within around 10 to 12 repetitions. So it's very easy to come in here and train with your ego. We all know that. We've all done it. Leave your ego at the door. Make sure that you do perform this in a heavy manner, but with correct form. So now we've done predominantly the front delt, supersetted with the rear delts. We're going to move on to a side delt movement now and target the front delt again. Let's go hit it. superset done. This time I was using 2 pulleys on a cable machine, and I was doing side raises lying on the floor. I just find by doing this that you can come a lot higher in the movement than you generally would with dumbbells. I supersetted that with a front raise. The reps were conventional, they were slow, they were controlled. What I will say, if you do not have one of these machines at your gym, maybe just use one side of a cable pulley machine and just do one side at a time and go back and forth like that. Make sure that you put a lot of stress on the outside of your hands as opposed to bringing your palms forward and your hands behind you. That will incorporate a little bit more of your back. Make sure that you tilt your hands forward slightly to really isolate your delts. Time for the last superset, and we're done with delts. Final set is done. Shoulders are done. What we did there was rear delts, bent over, cable raises, conventional repetitions, reaching failure at around 10. Immediately supersetting that with rope pulls. Now the way that you make the rope pulls harder, like I was going at a relatively light weight, is by spreading the rope as hard as you possibly can. Really pull that rope apart, and that will really isolate and target that rear delt like nothing else. I was making sure that I was getting a good contraction, I was pausing there, and I was going very slow on the negative. However, when I couldn't do any more, when I reached failure, that's when I just started knocking out the reps. So then I can rep out some more, just to really break down that muscle tissue as much as I possibly can. And when I was doing the rear cable raises, you'll notice the palms were facing behind me. I took the handles off, I find it much more comfortable doing it that way, and I find that I can isolate the rear delts that much more. So that's it. Now I'm going to take my recaged, and I'm going to talk to you and just kind of wrap this up at the entrance here so I can get my cardio done. It's all done. You should have left everything on the gym floor there. You should have no energy left to even perform this cardio. Every single workout is like that. Remember, it's the last 1 or 2 repetitions that you really struggle on are the ones that's going to give you all the gains, all the changes in the shape of the muscle, the density, the muscle growth. But remember, our workouts and our success is compounded by our recovery. So make sure that you do take your post-workout shake-in immediately, because again, we need to recover so we can come in with the same intensity tomorrow. For an hour after this workout, that's when I like to get my full meal in with my protein and my carbohydrates. I want you to post online exactly what your goals are for everybody to see. Don't just keep this to yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Put your sincerity on the line, because believe me, it will give you a sense of urgency of getting this shit done. Make sure that you write down what your goals are, post it online, let your friends and family know, and put that sincerity on the line. All right, I'm going to finish this shake, get upstairs and do my cardio, and then I'll speak to you a little bit later. But until then, I want you to psych up, meditate, recover, and get ready for tomorrow's workout. Good evening. God, I can't believe 24 hours has gone by already since I spoke to you last. Feels like it was just an hour ago. And now it's close to, it was at 9 o'clock, but I pretty much want to kind of just stop all electricals. But I have a few more emails to do, and once I've done that, I'm just going to get in the bath, relax, lower those cortisol levels, and just think about tomorrow's session, because this is all that matters at the moment. Yes, I do have a job. A lot of people think I train for a living. I don't know where they get that from, but anyway, it's a hobby, it's a pastime, it's a necessity because it's a therapeutic, but it's far from anything that I do for a living. Anyway, I'm going to switch you guys off, so make sure that you do have a good night's rest. You know, drink plenty of fluid throughout the day, but do taper it off after like 6 o'clock in the evening if you go to bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. So you're not up pissing all night, because I do want you to have your sleep as well, but really start pounding it the second that you do wake up. Remember, if you are doing a lot of cardio, you are going to sweat more. If you live in a humid environment, you're going to sweat even more. All right, anyway, I'm going to switch off now, guys. Thank you very much. I am out.